What's up, guys? Today I'll be showing you Paul Morphy's legendary game, which is like the most famous. It's probably like the most famous chess game of all time. So yeah, let's get into it. So basically, first off, Paul Morphy is white, and he's playing against Duke Carl and the Count Isogard or something. So basically, Paul Morphy starts with e4. Um, the Count goes with e5. And then Paul Morphy goes with knight f3. Really very mainline attacking the pawn. And then there are many choices here. You can play this. You can play this, or you can like gambit the pawn or something. But they play the Philidor defense, which is defending it like this. And the main idea is basically you want to strike um, in the center with f5 because it's defended by the bishop, and you want to put the knight here. So um, Paul Morphy takes the whole center, and then they play a little sideline here, which is an inaccuracy here. So basically, they pin the knight to the queen, but honestly, that move doesn't really do anything. So basically, Paul Morphy takes, and then the thing is that if you take back, Paul can just trade queens and take the pawn center with a knight center attacking everyone. So they don't really want that. So they took the knight first, and then Paul takes with the queen, avoiding double pawns. So they take, the Count takes in the center, and then Paul creates the strongest threat, which is a checkmate. So he's threatening checkmate while developing a bishop, preparing to castle. And then next, he plays knight f6 to defend against the f7 attack. And then Paul here, even though like opening principle says that not to move a piece like twice or more in the opening, Paul creates a bigger threat by playing queen b3. Well, what does this move do? Well, it attacks this bishop. It attacks this pawn, of course. So basically, it's threatening check. The king has to go up here or here, and then the queen gets in and checkmate. And it's really dangerous. It's a really dangerous position. So the main threat is this, and bonus is that Paul is also attacking the b7. The b7 pawn, trying to trap the rook. So basically now, he plays queen e7, and this queen e7 move basically defends his pawn, and then just gives this. But the thing is that when you take this, right? When you take this, they have this, and then just queen trade, and there's not really a big basically, Paul wants the queen on the board so he can do like really cool like attacks and sacks with it. So he just doesn't want the queen trade. So instead, he just develops his knight. Really reasonable. And then they play c6 because the queen now defends the b7 pawn. And then Paul activates another piece by playing bishop g5, pinning the knight, immobilizing it against the queen. So the knight cannot move now. And then the Count thinks and then plays b5, striking against the bishop and queen, striking against the bishop. And then Paul Morphy doesn't really care about that, and he plays knight takes b5. Very, very bold. Well, why? So basically, when you take, like his whole army is like activated against like this really poor army, and then while he has like less, he's a knight down, but his activity, like you can see the EVA bar here, like it's really, it's kind of bad for the white pieces because these two bishops are slicing against the black position. Well, now, so like this position is so bad that's like it's really bad because like the pieces are like all immobilized. Like look at the rooks already come into the battle. The bishop is slicing against the queen, creating X-ray, double bishop X-ray, like double. It's like a scissor, and then the queen is activated. It's on a central square. So knight d7, and then Paul long castles. Bring a next piece into the attack, pressuring this knight. Yeah, pressuring this knight, and then the count kind of does a cocoon strat over here. Like every piece, like if there was a knight here, he could get smother mated or somehow. So Paul sacks the rook to open up the king because can't really take with the knight. Gotta take with the rook. Oops, hold on. Gotta go back, and then basically when he takes with the rook, he brings another rook, the final piece, into the attack. Queen here, getting out the pin. Takes, giving check. And then the knight takes back. And now you see mate on the board. So now, this is like the sequence. This is like the sequence that is like the most legendary queen sack. Spoiler alert. Queen sack in history. So basically, Paul plays. Hold on. I gotta hype this up. Paul plays Queen B8. So this looks like a typical 200 elo move. Well, what does this do? It gives away a queen. For what? This is a forced mate, by the way. So the king cannot run. The only choice you have is to take the queen, and then the rook sweeps from the bottom of the board to deliver checkmate by the bishop. The king, surrounded by his own allies, and gets checkmated by a bishop and a rook. This is really, really beautiful. Okay, so I really like this game, and like there are many things that we can learn from it, which is basically the sack is like it's like the opening sack, and basically at the point of like the knight brilliant move, where he sacks the knight, because he sees whenever there's a undeveloped position, we can open it up and we need to try to bring all of our pieces into the attack. So yeah, I really enjoy this game.